Squad. Babes, cheers.
Cheers to the Snark Squad. The Snarkers who found us, the Snarkers who will find us, and the Snarkers listening right now.
Babes, we fucking love you.
We really, truly do.
It's Thursday evening. The sun is still out. Summer is basically here. We've got our velvet sweatsuits on. Juicy couture. Circa 2001. And babes, we are obsessed.
We are absolutely feral for the velour right now. The comfort level is unmatched.
It is unmatched.
Yeah.
And we've just been having some really heavy early 2000s nostalgia tonight.
So heavy, like aggressive nostalgia.
Yeah, so we need to talk about it. Before we even get into the absolute delusion of this week's television, I need to bring you into my favorite early 2000s memory.
Oh God, lay it on me. I am ready.
Okay, I want you to picture the exact sensory details.
Mm-hmm.
It is 2004. I'm wearing low-rise flare jeans from Abercrombie.
A structural nightmare.
A total nightmare. They're entirely too long, right? Meaning the entire back hem is completely destroyed. It's soaked in muddy rainwater. It's picking up stray leaves, gravel, just dragging across the linoleum floor of my high school hallway.
Yes. The frayed, damp denim hem. It is such a specific cultural touchstone. You were basically like a human Swiffer for your school district.
I really was a deeply unhygienic Swiffer. But at the time, I felt like a fashion icon.
Of course you did. We all did.
Right. So I'm sitting in my bedroom, and I am crying. And I want to be clear, I am not just, shedding a single tear. I am dramatically sobbing while gazing out my window into the cul-de-sac.
Like you're in a music video.
Literally. Like there is a camera crew filming my personal pain.
Yeah.
And my soundtrack is this heavily scratched, burned CD. The title is just written in smeared black Sharpie, and it just says, Sad Mix 3.
Not Sad Mix 1, Sad Mix 3, the sequel.
The trilogy. And it's actively skipping in my portable CD player because, let's be real, the anti-skip protection was a complete lie.
It's a marketing scam. Total scam.
Exactly. And I am blasting these devastating, earth-shattering breakup anthems. And the irony is, my biggest heartbreak at the time was a boy in homeroom who didn't make eye contact with me during roll call.
Stop. That is so real.
But in my mind, I was the ultimate main character on a WB teen drama.
I love that. What's fascinating is like the purity of that delusion. We were seeking out this massive emotional weight before we actually had the life experience to justify it.
Yes. We were so dramatic. What is your memory?
Well, my memory of that era is a little less WB melodrama and a little more just unfiltered cultural decay.
Oh, I cannot wait.
I remember sitting on my inflatable purple bubble chair, which, by the way, was actively terrible for my posture.
Oh, they were so sticky. The plastic was awful.
Horrible, sweaty plastic. But I'm sitting there analyzing the sheer unhinged chaos of early MTV reality shows.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm talking about the pacing of Naegman, the absolute psychological warfare of room raiders.
The black lights on room raiders.
The black lights. The sheer entitlement documented on my Super Sweet 16. I watched these shows and I took mental notes. We were all completely brainwashed into thinking that frosted, incredibly sticky lip gloss was like an acceptable life choice.
The kind where a single gust of wind glues your entire head of hair to your mouth.
Exactly. We were participating in a collective aesthetic crime, completely unaware of how unblended our chunky highlights actually were. Kelly Clarkson highlights.
It was a beautiful, sticky disaster. Which logically brings me to the defining element of that era, the music.
Oh, this is a massive topic.
It is. Pause for a second. I just need to ask you, and I need to ask everyone listening right now, is music today, dead?
I mean, if we look at the structural components of modern pop.
Wait, I have to clarify immediately. Not Taylor Swift. Babes, we are Swifties forever. That is a non-negotiable fact. But, everything else.
It raises an incredibly important point. If we analytically break down the absolute chokehold that early 2000s hits had on us, the contrast with today's landscape is staggering.
It really is.
Think about the sonic architecture of Usher's Confessions. Think about Britney Spears in her In the Zone era. There was a dramatic, sweeping quality to the R&B and pop of that time.
We were passionately belting out lyrics about mortgages we didn't have and divorces we were decades away from experiencing.
Exactly. Modern music, and I say this objectively, it lacks that specific brand of overproduced, chaotic sincerity.
It does.
Everything today is engineered to be very chill, very vibey. It easily slots into background playlists. Where is the absolute desperation? Where is the budget for the indoor rain machine in the music video?
Yes. I am so passionately in agreement with you right now, I could literally throw my microphone. We have entirely lost the art of the dramatic key change.
The key change is dead.
It's a tragedy.
It is.
You used to be listening to a pop song, just cruising along, and right at the bridge, the artist would just aggressively ascend to another dimension.
The gospel choir would kick in.
The modulation would hit your brain, and you would be screaming the lyrics in your Honda Civic. I genuinely believe society's emotional regulation is worse off because we lost the dramatic key change.
We traded the emotional catharsis of the key change for the algorithmic efficiency of the TikTok hook. You don't get a bridge because the song's only 2 minutes long. It's sad.
It is a tragedy. Okay, drink check. We need to reset. We started the night, before we even hit record, with a shot of Casamigos.
We did.
So yes, this is going to be a spiral.
A full-blown spiral.
Now we are on pineapple tequila drinks, and babes, we are feeling IT.
We are deeply feeling the agave snack check because we really need to pace ourselves tonight.
Yes, show them the snacks.
We have chicken wraps from KFC. And honestly, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Let's give credit where it's due. They are a culinary revelation.
A revelation might be a strong word, but they are structurally sound.
I was fully expecting the traditional drive-thru regret. You know, the exact feeling. The soggy, structurally compromised tortilla. The sad, translucent iceberg lettuce.
The complete absence of crunch.
Exactly. But the reality of this wrap, shockingly crispy. It is holding up against the sauce. It is hitting the spot in a way that my nervous system required tonight.
If we are ranking fast food chicken tiers while sipping tequila, I am firmly placing the KFC wrap in the upper echelons. It is rivaling the discontinued McDonald's snack wrap of the late 2000s.
Wow, bringing up the Mac snack wrap. That is high praise.
It's providing the exact macronutrient ratio needed to carry me through the heavy analysis we are about to do. Because we were just talking about the emotional roller coaster of early 2000s media, right?
Right. The days of our lives level of unhinged drama.
And it connects so perfectly to the sheer, unadulterated delusion we are currently witnessing on our screens.
Oh my God, yes. The transition is flawless.
The small-town chaos we are about to unpack has the exact same energy as a retro soap opera, just with more flannel and loan sharks.
Babes, grab your tequila, grab your sparkling water, whatever you need. Because we need to talk about Season 7, Episode 8, Back in the Saddle.
Let's get into the mess. Let me state my thesis right up front. This episode is an unfiltered narrative disaster.
Total disaster.
I was analyzing the plot holes, and the sheer lack of internal logic gave me a tension headache. Meanwhile, you were sitting next to me literally screaming at the TV.
I was screaming. My neighbors probably think I am being held hostage.
You were very loud.
The setup alone is enough to send anyone into a tailspin. Let's start with the clay and the rodeo delusion. We open the episode. Mel and Jack walk into their barn. And what do they find? They find Clay, casually covered in blood.
Just bleeding near the tractors.
Bloodied in the barn. He tries to play it off. He lies. He says he got into a minor bar fight. I gasped. Why is there always someone actively bleeding out in this specific town?
It's supposed to be a cozy logging town.
Not an active war zone.
This is a perfect example of what I call the Cabot Cove syndrome.
Wait, what is that?
In Murder, she wrote, the town of Cabot Cove statistically had a higher murder rate than any major city because they needed a weekly plot. The writers here are suffering from the same syndrome. They escalated the violence to absurd levels, so they find Clay bleeding. And Jack, who just met this guy 5 minutes ago, immediately decides it is his moral responsibility to fix this man's entire life.
But of course he does. That is Jack's entire personality. He is physically incapable of seeing a problem and not throwing himself into the center of it.
Right, he starts digging. He discovers Clay owes a massive debt to a loan shark because of illegal bull riding bets. He took the cash to find his missing sister, and now he is in deep with a cartel-adjacent criminal element. And Jack's response, let's figure out a way to pay this violent criminal syndicate together.
I need to pull up the fan consensus on this because the fans are validating my outrage. Jack is romanticizing a total stranger's underground gambling debt.
Are we just expected to forget the home study?
Oh my God, the home study.
This is the mechanism of the plot that is sending me into orbit. Jack and Mel are actively trying to adopt an infant. You have to navigate an incredibly strict, deeply invasive home study process with a state agency. They look into who you associate with the safety of your environment.
And Jack has an active loan shark victim bleeding in his barn.
Home study fail. Babes, if the social worker did a pop-in, what is the conversational pivot? Oh, please ignore the cartel violence occurring near the hay bales. We just installed a really sturdy crib.
The fans were losing their minds. I saw a comment that said, "Welcome to Stay On at the Farm. You have no idea what else he is involved in. Are they serious?"
It completely shatters the suspension of disbelief. Jack doesn't know him. And from an economic standpoint, how much liquid capital does Jack even have laying around? He operates like he has a cartoon vault of gold coins.
Which brings me to the moment my brain completely broke. Mel's reaction.
Oh, Mel.
At the very beginning, Mel is doubting Clay's story. She is acting like a cautious, rational medical professional. She's pushing back on Jack.
Which is the only sane response to finding a bloodied man on your property.
Right. She is the voice of the audience. But then we get a scene transition, and suddenly Mel completely greenlights Jack getting involved in the criminal underworld.
She pivots entirely.
Clay wants to return to the rodeo to wager his remaining cash on himself. And Mel agrees to let Jack help him under the bizarre condition that she gets to join them.
It gets worse.
At the rodeo, Mel actually looks at Jack and tells him to bet his own money on Clay. She delivers this monologue about betting on what she believes in and tells Jack to hand Clay the cash for the loan shark.
The psychology of that character pivot requires medical attention.
Babes, what is this character growth? From cautious nurse to degenerate gambling enabler in 45 minutes, I was pacing my living room.
The writers want the gritty aesthetic of a high-stakes rodeo, but they apply rom-com logic to a cartel problem. Mel decides that because she believes in Clay's heart, the mathematics of underground gambling will magically work out. It is terrifying.
You cannot sprinkle fairy dust on a loan shark plot. And while they are casually funding a syndicate, we are simultaneously dealing with the Charmaine hostage crisis.
I have to laugh out loud just hearing that phrase.
If you watch this show, you know this was the season-long mystery. We have been theorizing for months over where Charmaine disappeared to. Did she have a mental break? Did she go on the run?
The show built a massive mystery box.
Yeah.
And how do they resolve it? Brie, who is a corporate attorney, somehow tracks a lead. How? She is walking down the street, and she sees Grant, the boss from the local hair salon, buying a bulk pack of baby diapers.
I am legally deceased. That is the clue.
Let me tear this screenwriting apart. Why is she acting like an FBI operative? She's a lawyer, not a detective. Why is Mike the only cop in this town? Why is the entire criminal task force relying on a civilian lawyer spotting Pampers in a hatchback?
Logic does not live in this town. So, Bree tails his car, and she discovers the massive twist. Grant killed Calvin in self-defense and has been keeping Charmaine and the newborn twins locked up as hostages at his house.
A double kidnapping hostage situation in a cozy romantic drama.
I yelled, "What the fuck," at my TV. I spilled my pineapple tequila on my sweats. That is the payoff. The boss from the hair salon, she's just been locked in her hairdresser's spare room.
It is the dictionary definition of an anticlimactic flop. The fan reactions are brutal. One fan called it tedious, ridiculous, and lackluster as hell.
There's a wet balloon deflating.
Bree is in danger for exactly 0.2 seconds before Mike and his invisible police force breach the perimeter and save the day instantaneously. It was a total letdown.
It felt like they only had 10 minutes left and just wrapped it up with a bow. And speaking of letdowns, we have to unpack the business mess with Preacher, Kaya, and Jeff.
Oh, the economics of the storyline were exhausting.
I was actually getting emotional over it at first. Preacher pulls Jack aside and says he wants to formally buy Jack out of the bar. It feels like the end of an era. Jack is hesitant, but finally agrees after Mel tells him not to hold Preacher back.
Right. Jack plays the magnanimous friend. But let's look beneath the surface. A fan on Reddit nailed it. They wrote, "Not Jack pressed about Preacher leaving cause Kai's. Then he actually has to run his own business."
Wait, that is so true. Jack is internally panicking because now he has to look at an Excel spreadsheet and order kegs. His free ride is over.
He is terrified of administrative labor. Preacher has been acting as GM, head chef, and operational director, while Jack plays superhero.
And while this is happening, we get Preacher and Kaya's forced romantic dinner.
They are trying so hard to make them the new Mel and Jack. But the chemistry is giving nothing. It is a void.
It really is. Watching them interact is like watching two coworkers make HR-approved conversation.
The Reddit snark was top tier. Someone pointed out, "I'd be incredibly annoyed as a paying customer if the head chef was too busy kissing his girlfriend in the kitchen to cook my food."
The town is probably starving because Preacher is constantly making out during the dinner rush. The health department needs to intervene.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what else made me physically unwell? The Lizzie and Denny cringe factor.
Prepare yourself. We have to analyze this carefully.
I want to start by validating Lizzie's struggle. Postpartum anxiety is very real and raw. Mel suggests SSRIs, which is correct, but Lizzie is scared it makes her look weak, so she doesn't want medication. That is an important topic.
The topic is important. The execution needs to be launched into the sun.
So what does she do instead? She opts for meditation with Denny.
Brace yourself for the visual. Denny and Lizzie, sitting together, singing Baby Shark
Hmm.
out loud as a mantra.
No. Stop, please. It is triggering my fight or flight response.
The writers introduce a complex psychological topic, but because they are terrified of ruining the cozy aesthetic with the reality of psychiatric medication, they rely on quirky, infantile cringe humor.
It completely undercut the seriousness of the anxiety.
It turned it into a fever dream comedy sketch.
Hmm.
The fans were screaming. Someone wrote, "Oh, the Denny and Lizzie scene singing Baby Shark. Can it be any more cringe?" I physically cringed into another dimension.
I had to avert my eyes. Let's cleanse our palate with a storyline that was actually entertaining. The geriatric love triangle.
The only structurally sound thing left in this universe.
We have Hope, Doc, Vernon, and Roland. Vernon is back at the clinic, yay, but dealing with a troop of Boy Scouts covered in poison ivy.
A classic sitcom obstacle. Nature's vengeance.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Roland invites Hope and Vernon to the rodeo, but Vernon is delayed by the calamine lotion crisis, so Roland gets Hope to himself.
Roland executes a flawless romantic strategy. He turns on the charm and the peak of the petty drama. Vernon shows up in a panic and realizes Roland literally named his prize-winning horse after Hope.
He is riding a horse named Hope. I screamed. Vernon was vibrating with jealousy.
It's giving high school petty, and I'm weirdly here for it. After all the cartel violence, watching two septuagenarians fight over a woman via equestrian naming rights is the exact flavor of low-stakes drama we signed up for.
It highlights how they are the only ones providing functional romantic conflict without a gun involved, which perfectly leads into segment 1, small-town drama scale.
Let's quantify it.
The theme is, how messy is it really? I am reading the messiness based on sheer emotional whiplash.
Walk me through the variables.
We went from a pregnant woman held hostage by her hairdresser to a high-stakes rodeo bet in the span of an afternoon. My neck hurts from the tonal swerves.
I rated on the delusion scale, and it is off the charts. They are trying to give us gritty cowboy mafia with the rodeo and loan sharks like Yellowstone, but it's giving Virgin Lazy River.
Virgin Lazy River. That is so accurate.
It's a genre identity crisis. I was calculating the crime rate per capita. It is statistically higher than Gotham City at this point. Who in this town hasn't had a gun pulled on them?
Let's go down the roster. Jack got shot. Brady got shot. Preacher fought kidnappers. Brie was threatened by a kingpin. Charmaine was a hostage. Mel was in a crossfire.
The only person who hasn't been held at gunpoint is the mayor. And even Hope had a traumatic brain injury from a car crash. The Yelp reviews for this town would be terrifying.
Great coffee, but had to duck during a cartel shootout. 3 stars.
Exactly. Let's move to segment 2. Couple check-in. Theme. Who's thriving? Who's struggling?
Let's start with thriving, allegedly. Mel and Jack. They decide to go on their honeymoon, pulling out a map to blindly choose between Italy and Hawaii.
They are emotionally thriving, sure.
Yeah.
But their furniture isn't.
The bed. We have to talk about the bed.
Did you see that flimsy brass headboard moving during their scenes? Fans are losing their minds. Buy a sturdy bed, Jack, you want a bar.
It is literally shaking like a leaf. He has untraceable money for loan sharks, but zero budget for structural bedroom integrity. It is so visually distracting.
It pulls you right out of the romance. Now, who is struggling? Hard. Brie and Brady.
I am actively spiraling over the ending scene. Brie tells Brady she's safe. Brady admits he wants more than friendship and tells her to admit the truth or walk away, and she walks away.
She literally spins on her heel.
Babes, I threw my chicken wrap. I actually threw it. I invested seasons into them, and she just walked away.
I completely agree. Fans love their steamy shower scene earlier in the season, but this exhausting back and forth is draining. Brie is letting fear rule her, and frankly, I am bored of the indecision.
You cannot give us a steamy shower scene and then expect us to be fine with her walking away 2 episodes later. It's cruel.
It is lazy plotting. Let's ground our nervous systems with segment 3, comfort versus chaos. What feels cozy versus chaotic?
For me, the comfort was the clinic scenes. Vernon saving the day with the poison ivy scouts. It feels like the classic cozy early seasons. It felt safe.
It was a nice return to form. However, I have to bring up a comfort issue dividing the fandom. The great blue kitchen debate.
Oh, I know where you stand.
Is the dark blue paint job in the house a cozy, chic choice or a depressing, dark cave?
I love it. I think it's incredibly cozy. It's moody, it's chic.
I reject that. It looks like a depressing cave. Color theory dictates that dark colors absorb light. You walk in to make coffee, and suddenly you're staring into the void, contemplating the futility of human existence. It's chaotic.
We will agree to disagree on interior design, because for me, the only true chaos in this episode is Jack's entire existence.
Oh, completely. Jack's wallet is a black hole of chaos.
He wakes up, offers a massive payout to a bloodied stranger, agrees to be bought out by his best friend, losing his income, then tells the stranger to keep the cash and bet on a bull. He operates an unregulated charity for cowboys while his bed frame disintegrates. Make it make sense.
You can't. He operates purely on vibes and a savior complex. Which brings us to segment 4. Next episode feels, what emotional spiral is coming?
I predict an absolute breakdown if Brie and Brady don't fix this mess. If we get one more longing stare across the town square, I am suing. I am filing a lawsuit for emotional distress.
But me as a co-plaintiff, I am theorizing about Preacher's future. Is he opening a rival restaurant?
Right.
Is he finally going to cook food instead of kissing Kaya?
Yeah.
And more importantly, is the adoption agency going to find out about the loan shark in Jack's barn?
Oh my God, the home study.
If the social worker pops in, Mel and Jack are adopting a houseplant instead of a baby. The state will shut them down.
Oh, they are entirely doomed. Wow. Babes, what a night. Tequila chaos, cozy drama, and a literal hostage situation at a salon. I feel like my brain lived 1,000 lives.
A perfectly unhinged Thursday evening. I wouldn't have it any other way.
We need to know. What is your favorite early 2000s memory? Were you crying over burned CDs? Tell us everything.
Is music dead or are we just dramatic? Tell us the truth.
And babes, what are you sipping tonight? Let us know.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Send submissions. Send this to your nostalgic bestie who needs a reality check about Virgin River crime rates.
Thank the Snark Squad for riding out the tequila spiral with us. We appreciate you.
Stay poured.
Stay golden.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.